Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives are just hammering away over and over again. They probably just can't wait for an election.
We're tired of hearing about them getting clobbered in the polls, Nick. Can you give us some reason why there's no election?
If they're going to get crushed today or get crushed in February or get crushed in March, does it make any difference whether they get crushed in October? They might as well hope for a later date, knowing that the sooner that the election happens, the more likely they are to get crushed.
How about you go ahead and give us Canadians some good news? Could you do that, Nick?
The good news is that maybe in the World Junior Men's Hockey Championship, maybe Canada can win. So
We want an election, man. So, well, can you at least explain why the NDP are actually still relevant and they got numbers?
basically, Liberal support has bled to both the Conservatives and the New Democrats. So the Conservatives have a double whammy because the NDP splits the vote, plus the Conservatives have an advantage.
Okay, we've heard it already. We know the Conservatives are going to win, but how many seats, and do you think it'll be a majority?
Good news for the Conservatives, they're clearly in majority territory. The Liberals are back on their heels. Right now we're looking at a majority Conservative government.
Geez, it's been like this for like a year now, Nick, with all these trends going in the conservative direction. Do you see the Liberals or anything changing from now until an election, whenever that may be?
Anything could happen, but the reality is that the election is for Pierre Poilievre to lose. Like he basically has to not make a mistake and do nothing, and ride. I'll call it a blue wave of change.
Okay. And patiently, we're still waiting.
Ballot tracking has the Conservatives at 42% nationally, the Liberals way back at 23, NDP at 21. So Liberals and New Democrats within the margin of error.
And obviously, as Canadians aren't stupid, how are we feeling about that GST bull crap?
You can see basically that, 2 out of 3 Canadians think that the $250 check to working Canadians who make up to 150,000 big ones is a poor or a very poor idea. And you know what? The GST holiday, not much more popular. About a third of Canadians think that it's a very good or good idea, but you can see about 51% or thereabouts, 1 out of every 2 think that it's a poor, very poor idea.
What about the unemployment rate?
Unemployment. I think we're going to have to watch unemployment in the weekly tracking. We saw the Canadian unemployment numbers move, but we also saw in our tracking now concern about jobs in the economy as the top national unprompted issue of concern is up. It's now pulling ahead of inflation. Jobs is at 18% unprompted. Inflation is now at 10. Immigration's at 9. Stuff like that. But we're noticing people are now starting to worry about their jobs.
And that sucks if you're worrying about your jobs, especially around this time of year. But how's the economy actually doing?
We ask Canadians in our tracking for Bloomberg every week whether they think the economy will be stronger, weaker, or the same in the next 6 months. Check out the numbers. The proportion of Canadians that think the economy will get weaker has risen 17 points in 4 weeks.
The consequence of having a weak prime minister who's lost control of our borders, lost control of immigration, lost control of crime and drugs, and lost control of our economy.
Maybe we should just ask Pierre Poilievre to share with Canadians what he really thinks about Justin Trudeau. Ay.